Hey guys, Andy here from Mediocre Hobbies, coming at you with more old world goodness and once again delving into the world of Bretonnia. I know I've been doing a whole heap of videos on this, but this is the current old world project that I'm working on, something that I'm trying to get pretty much the entire collection painted, 4,000 points of miniatures ready and on the tabletop. Don't ask me why I need so many points. I'm just obsessed. I'm really enjoying the project and I just want to bring you as many interesting videos as I can from that process. And that's what today's video is going to be about. I'm going to basically be doing an eBay rescue video for an old Louen Leoncoeur miniature, which is of course the old King of Bretonnia. Now at the point of the old world right now, he's not even born yet. His griffin or his hippogryph hasn't been born yet. He's not the king, but there is the option to, of course, take a Bretonnian duke on a hippogryph in the book, and that's what I will be painting him as today and including him in my army. So, hope you guys are excited to see if I can repair, rebuild, repaint this beautiful miniature and get it back to the glory that it should have been many, many years ago. Before we get into the video, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of my active patrons. Patreon has been an absolute pain in the backside over the last couple of months ever since they introduced that new free option. Many more people have been joining the Patreon, but the amount of money being earned is steadily going down, which is an unfortunate thing. Thank God YouTube revenue is going up and sponsorships are flying. But unfortunately, Patreon is unfortunately have taken a hit from the free option. So I will reiterate again that the free option does give you absolutely no benefit whatsoever. If you want to support the channel, if you want to see me grow and help me finance these crazy projects, then the lowest tier that you will get any benefit from is of course the 360 paint pot tier. That will give you access to a free video every single week and access to a private Discord server. So if that's something that interests you, it'll be linked in the description below. Okay, without further ado, let's get stuck in and get this model done. Okay, inside of this box is unfortunately just pure sadness. This is my original Louen Leoncoeur model. I did build him many years ago, and he was actually left in my parents' house when I moved out once again many years ago, and at one point I just needed to basically pack him up and take him with me, and I just manhandled him. I grabbed him with my bare hands, I pulled him into the pieces so he would fit in this box, and then there he stayed, unloved, disrespected and forgotten for many years. Obviously, with the re-release of the old world and my ever increasing excitement for it, I felt that this model deserved to be cleaned up, reassembled and painted up and used in a game. What I did to this poor piece all those years ago should never happen to any model as glorious and beautiful as this guy. So the first thing I want to do is try and continue the process of disassembling him. I, for some reason, back in the day, used to assemble metal models by rolling up green stuff into little balls, putting it between the joints, super gluing over the top and then smushing the parts together. For any of you people out there who actually know the whole proper process, I'm sure some of you are now violently vomiting over your keyboards. I'm very sorry to have to inform you, but I do own up to the mistakes that I used to do back in the day. Once all the parts are cleaned up, look at all that extra green stuff removed from these parts. So I'm now back to my component pieces once again. I started the process of course getting his base roughly ready. If you guys know, I use cork to increase the height of certain characters. This guy is obviously quite small these days. He's not like massive. The new Duke on Royal Pegasus is way bigger than he is. So I just wanted to add a little bit of height. So I decided to go for 2 layers of like thick cork to add on to kind of the runic base that he's already on. I then used thick super glue, gel super glue, to start reassembling the miniature, and then after that, any gaps that appeared or anything that needs to be filled in, I used resin, like literally from my 3D printer, resin and the UV torch from Green Stuff World. I would just feed it into those gaps, cure it, it would go solid, and then there'll be no gaps. I was really happy with this process, and it left me with one finished, finally built Louen Leoncoeur. So I'm glad that I went back in the day and decided to build him with the helmet. I don't even have Louis's head anymore. I don't know where that's gone. But with the helmet, he does just look like a standard Duke, which is of course what I'll be playing him as in the old world. Got him sprayed my traditional colors, black and then grey seer. And I actually did this quite a number of weeks ago. I got this, my trebuchet and my bombard built and on new bases in one day. And I basically saved all the footage from that from before. Jumping a couple of weeks ahead and I'm ready to paint it. So I'm putting that part of the video onto this part of the video and then making it one whole thing. So when it came to actually painting the hippogryph creature, I decided one of the best things to do was to just go back to my Talia Vedra video. which is the beautiful new Manticore piece from the Cities of Sigmar. She's one of the nicest models that I've painted in I don't know how long. I love her. And I was really happy with how quick and easy and effective it was to paint the Manticore with those kind of natural beiges and browns. And I thought, why not? It is a proven technique. I'm sure it's going to work well on this. So I followed it through. So it started with Skeleton Horde, and we painted this all over most of the body of the Hippogriff itself. And then the first 2 layers of feathers, the smallest feathers, closest to the edge, got done with that color as well. I also did the tail. From here, we are going to jump up to Gore Grunta Fur, and this is going to go for the kind of next layer of feathers down on the wings, plus any fur that exists kind of around joints or hanging down from the arms of the Hippogriff were also hit with a Gore Grunta Fur. Although I am super proud to finally have this model kind of finished and in my collection, I'm not sure whether it is the best choice for a Bretonnian Duke to have this model be used. I think the Pegasus, the Royal Pegasus, is actually still a better choice. Maybe I'm wrong. If you guys out there are veteran gamers, you guys know a lot about Bretonnians, let me know what you think about that. But I think the option for the Royal Pegasus to have a 360-degree line of sight means that he can kind of sit in the middle of the board, charge wherever he feels like. I think is a really big benefit to him. And the Hippogriff can perhaps be outmaneuvered, and that's something that can be very annoying in the old world. Black Templar was then used for the last layer of feathers, making sure not to hit any of that nice brown that we've already done. Now there is some other brown or black parts to be used on painting the guy himself, the inner parts of the shield and stuff, but I'm going to focus on painting the Hippogriff first to completion, and then I will worry about the knight and all the armor panels separate, because we will be doing a dry brush over the top of this now, and we don't want to dry brush the parts of the the black on the shields and anything like that do not want to be hit with this dry brush, so we'll do them later. And for the dry brush, we're of course going to go to Screaming Skull and then give the entire piece a light dry brush all over. Large flat dry brush going against the grain so I catch those sharp edges. Adds lots of detail, lots of edging to the wings themselves. It really does stand out, makes them look really nice. The difference between dry brush and not dry brush, I find the kind of beige, brown and black really blend together with that dry brush, and it gives us a really nice natural tones, and it's definitely something I think a Hippogriff would look like. From here, a bit of Iyanden yellow to get a base coat on the beaks and claws. I really do just love contrast. It's such a quick, easy and effective way of getting a base coat on something. Such good results with such little effort. Now obviously this Hippogriff is quite armored as well. He's got lots of like armored greaves around his claws, so take your time when you get to the layering of the metallic parts later on, or the base coating metallic parts later on, trying not to hit the yellow. Gryph-hound Orange was then brought in. Obviously we are going to go for the orange and black scheme I did from Grail Knight Week. The reason that I actually decided to go with him in this tone is because somebody very kindly contacted me online the other day and said that he had watched my videos. It had got him back into painting Warhammer. He'd spent a long time watching all my videos. He loved the orange and black scheme, and he had started a Bretonnian army in that scheme. His name was Josh. I'm not going to give you a second name in case he does not wish to be shared out so publicly, but he sent me a bunch of pictures from his Bretonnian army that he has painted in this orange and black scheme. He has done a unit of archers, he has done Pegasus knights, he's done a unit of normal knights, and they are absolutely stunning. Like, I could not get over the pictures of them he sent out, which then encouraged me that I've decided that another whole wave of my Bretonnians is going to be painted in this orange and black scheme, and this Hippogriff character is going to lead it. So a unit of Knights of the Realm, a unit of Men-at-Arms, perhaps a unit of Bowmen are all going to get painted in this orange and black scheme. Potentially another unit of Pegasus Knights. I'm not sure if I need a third unit of Pegasus Knights. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. But it just looks so good. It was definitely my favorite Grail Knight from Grail Knight Week. And I had always suspected that it might look really good across an entire army. And Josh has definitely proved me right. So Josh, thank you so much for your very kind words, and thank you for using my videos to create your unbelievable Bretonnian army. Even though you used my video to make your scheme, now I feel like I'm stealing your scheme, which you took from my scheme. Whose scheme is it? I don't know, but we can just have this scheme together, buddy. And I think it's only fitting. I think I'm going to have kind of 2 or 3 different elements of my Bretonnian force. The red and black is obviously going to be quite a large portion. Now the orange and black is going to be another portion. And then the rest is just going to be a motley collection of knights from drawn from other noble houses. I like doing them in squads though. So, you know, this particular keep has sent out a group of 6 or 10 knights, all painted the same. Or sent out a detachment of men-at-arms led by, I don't know, a single knight or whatever. So there will be definitely some multicolored units in the army, but then also some very big solid blocks of a specific color. Now, as you saw, the Black Templar did go in again on the knight shields, the heraldry for the guy, and then we're going in with some gold and silver for all the metallic details. Taking our time not to hit any of the kind of other areas with the metallics. Now we are going to be layering up later on, so if your hand slips a little bit, it's not the end of the world. I just find being as neat as possible in the base coat phase actually just lends itself really well to getting the model finished. I don't know why. Maybe it's you get to a certain point and the model is looking really kind of nice, really clean, really fresh. You're like, okay, I can't wait to see what this actually looks like at the end. Null oil was the shade of choice, and this is basically going to go across the entire model that isn't the Hippogryph. The Hippogryph doesn't need any more work. That's done, apart from some layering on the beaks and inside the mouth and stuff. But all those black, brown and tan areas, just leave them alone. So all of the orange, black, gold, silver, they're what's going to get hit with this particular Null oil shade. And some brown texture paste from AK, Dark Earth texture paste from AK is going to be used to fill in the base, make it all blend into the Bretonnian countryside. I always tend to put this on after I've shaded the miniature so that they can both kind of dry together. Now I am short on time, so I'm going to get stuck into repainting and layering up of the Hippogryph character himself, even though the base is not fully dry and I haven't dry brushed. Usually at this point the base would be fully finished, but I'm not going to do that. Fanatic Orange from Two Thin Coats was then the orange I brought in to layer up the cloth. It's exactly the same steps. Like I said, this guy is going to blend seamlessly in with my Bretonnian Grail Knight. He's actually my Grail Knight champion. That's how much I like that scheme. I decided that he was going to be the champion of the unit. As you can see, following the natural folds of cloth really does make layering this thing quite easy. From here, we are of course going to jump up to Fanatic Orange, which is going to be the last final highlight of orange. It's really bright, it's really nice. Sorry, Orange Flare, we just used Fanatic Orange. Apologies, still not 100% sure on the Two Thin Coats names. I think I'm definitely gonna have to get those Sarissa Precision wall mounts for all the range of paints so I can actually see them in front of me. I'm currently still keeping them inside of the Kickstarter boxes, so they're not really on display. It's kind of annoying. But anyway, brighter orange going in for the final highlight, obviously less than the previous stage, getting those sharp lines and highest points of the folds and following all of them in the same direction does give quite a nice result. It looks so good against the black and the gold, and that's why I think it's going to look really good with a unit of knights. Haven't even finished my current unit of knights, and I'm planning the next unit of knights. Death Reaper is going to be the first highlighted color for the black areas. Now, if I'm being brutally honest, this didn't really stand out all that much. Obviously, we go to a very, very dark grey for the final highlight on the black, which definitely does make an impact. But this didn't come across that much. Maybe you could leave this stage out. I don't think I will. I'm going to follow through with it the same. It does add something, just maybe it just doesn't show up on camera very well. He's really starting to come together now. Obviously, that day where I constructed the 3 things, the Bombard, the King on his Hippogryph, and the Bretonnian Trebuchet. So now I just have the Bretonnian Trebuchet left from that particular day. So let me know, guys, if that's something you're interested in. It's on a big, beautiful custom base with all the miniatures have their own kind of cutting so they can be placed in and out. And I have plans to do some really nice stuff with that big, large expanse of a base. It's basically going to be like a diorama or a scene. Got to paint up the little kid with the slingshot and the dog and all those other bits and pieces to really make it look nice. If I get that done, then perhaps I will buy another trebuchet, the new resin one. Because it's resin and it's obviously all the parts are lighter, we can do it in the firing pose, which I think would be really cool looking. Absolute nightmare to transport anywhere, but I'm sure we can make do. Okay, jumping into Stalker Yellow, or Skulker Yellow, and that's going to be to highlight the beak and the claws on this thing. Once again, another very quick and simple highlight, but it does make the beak scream out at you. From here, Katachan Flesh was then used to highlight all the bits we did with the brown contrast. So all the kind of like barding and tack that hold the armor plates and the saddle and stuff on, including the saddle itself if you can get in around it. I did brown wash the saddle, but really hard to get in and layer it. But we did try. We did catch a few nice pieces. Okay, we got the base dry brushed up now. Definitely adding a tidier effect to the model. Super pleased with how it's turning out. I know I've said it before, but it's just funny finding a model in your collection and your pile of shame that you not only have forgotten about, but that you did something pretty mean to the way I pulled it apart. I'm finally seeing it kind of getting the treatment it deserves. Ironbreaker was brought in as the last highlight for all the metallics, so both gold and silver parts are going to be highlighted up with Ironbreaker, which is going to leave quite a nice result. It does really make it stand out. I don't know about you, if any of you guys have followed along and tried my technique for highlighting all the metallics at the end with a nice bright silver. Let me know what you think of the effect, if it's worked for you. I started doing it when my Black Templars, when the Black Templars were redone and re-released. Yeah, so here's the model all finished apart from some foliage on the base. So we are going to do that now, adding some grass tufts and some greenery. A little bit too much brown going on below the feet of this beautiful, majestic beast. And obviously, like I said, the lush plains of Bretonnia are definitely going to be a little bit more natural. So adding some quite tall grass tufts and then some smaller grass tufts around just for some specks of green, I think really do help it out. And then of course we are going to finish off, as is tradition, with the reveal with some high definition photos to give you some ideas of what this piece might actually look like on the tabletop. Let me know, guys, if you really do want to see things like the Bretonnian trebuchet, or I've got some mounted yeomen that I'm planning to do a video on. I don't know who would take mounted yeomen in an army. I'm going to definitely try them out and see if there is a place for them. I think they're beautiful miniatures. And that may actually be the next Bretonnian video I do, is a squad of mounted yeomen using the old paper banner and everything, as is only right and proper as you do get it with the kit now. So let me know how excited you are for that, guys. Well, guys, there we have it. My Bretonnian Duke mounted on Hippogryph. It's now, it's back together, it's back painted. It's now a thing that I'm super proud of. Would be super happy putting it on a tabletop and playing some games with it, which I intend to do in the very near future. If you guys noticed that the whole painting of the Hippogryph was based off of my Talia Vedra video, exactly the same steps were used, and I'm really happy with the result. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've got a couple more Bretonnian videos lined up. I want to do the Bretonnian trebuchet, and then perhaps a couple of different units of the knights, and then of course I want to do a couple of videos for questing knights as well. But I want to do a million videos for the old world, so please do let me know if there's anything special you want to see for the old world. I have access to pretty much every model from the old world. You'd be surprised if I didn't have it. So if there's something you want to see, make sure you let me know. I'm not psychic, maybe, and I'll try and get that done for you guys. Okay, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you give the video a like, ask me any questions you want in the comments below, and please do check out Patreon, link in the description below, and help out the channel. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. I'll see you in the next one.